Hello all, and welcome to another episode of Know Your Champion, with Solomon Grundy, the Deathless Brute. Now, I would just like to say that I did a half an hour cry valley, got full builds, everything, was ready to start the video, started to record, I'm talking, and the gas bat takes down my base. So, this is take 2 right now of Know Your Champion, Solomon Grundy, and I'm just gonna do it this way so I know this works. Now, let's talk about his passive. If you guys have seen from any videos or any leaks or anything like that, his passive is pretty crazy. It basically gives him a second life to come back and do massive amounts of crowd control. Why do I say massive amounts of crowd control? Because he normally has massive amounts of crowd control, but when you come back to life, everything is on cooldown. So, upon death, Solomon Grundy becomes unattackable and untargetable while he gets ready for one last stand. After 2 seconds, Grundy, no longer unattackable and untargetable, comes back to life with non-ultimate cooldowns reset and full health restored. Solomon Grundy's damage is halved and he cannot receive healing. He will stay in the state for 5 seconds or until he is killed for good. Leveling this increases the duration. So 5 seconds, 6, 7, 8. So for a maximum of 8 seconds. In the late game, you can come back to life and do a little bit of damage as a last stand. Now, this is cool because of the cooldowns. You can go in, burn everything with the intention of just getting that last stand for your team, and as long as you're the only one that dies, most of the time it's a viable play. So that's his passive. Now here is Clobber. What this is a pretty much a dash that slows enemies and does damage scaling on health. So the more health you have on Grundy, the more damage the skill is going to do. Now, Solomon Grundy rushes forward, stopping at the first champion he hits. That's important, meaning that you can't dash through multiple enemies, but you can dash through multiple drones to get to that enemy, so you will deal damage to everything you pass through as long as it's not another enemy. When you hit them, you slow them for 15% for 1.5 seconds. Leveling this does not increase damage based on power damage. When you level into this skill, you want to make sure that you're building health. So this is probably the first thing you're going to max out, because the first thing you're going to be building on him is health. Why do I say that? Because I'm going to show you guys a power damage and health build, but you're going to start mainly with the health and get that tankiness going. Armor yourself up with some of the power damage armor items, and you're just gonna be the Deathless Brute, pretty much. So, but leveling this does increase the slow, so that's another good thing too. So this is pretty much gonna be the first thing you max out, because you can get up to 30% slow. Now, Clobber is pretty much straightforward. I mean, Crush. It's pretty much straightforward. Clobber is literally straightforward, that's how you attack. But Crush attacks the ground around you. So picture, if you guys know Atomic Green Lantern Slam, similar to that, a little bit less range because you can kind of direct Atomic Green Lantern Slam. Crush is literally just like directly around Grundy. Like, you can't aim this. It's around him, so he just punches straight down. And we're gonna get to the march right now. So first off, what the march does is it gains 15 move speed. So basically, in the lower levels, if you apply the slow to the enemy, and you get the speed, you will be moving at pretty much double their speed, because you're going to half them at 15%, and then you're going to gain 15%. But you're also going to gain 30% if you're facing the enemy. So Solomon Grundy gains 15%. We'll see for 3 seconds. The next champion he targets with the basic attack becomes suppressed for 1 second and is dealt power damage. Now, this is important. So you can hit this skill and then dash into the enemy to slow them, basic attack them, and because this is on cooldown, you won't be able to use the empowered version of this, but can use the empowered version of this. So what I'm saying is, basically, you need to basic attack them in this stance. Once you start that move speed buff, you need to basic attack them in order to get these going. So right off the bat, when I started playing him, I hit the E, and then I would Q into the enemy, and I would grab them, and I would go to throw them again, and I would just stand there like a doofus, because the Q was on cooldown again. So what I wasn't getting was that thinking that if you dash into them, then grab them, that becomes a different skill regardless of the cooldown. That's not true. The skill needs to be up in order for you to use it. So that kind of makes it so that you can't run, dash, grab the person, and then toss them behind you. Now, why do I say toss behind you? When you grab somebody, both of these skills change. This one literally becomes a throw. You throw them in any direction that your cursor's facing. So after the march, you see this green stat here, second line. Grundy punches the target in a chosen direction, turning them into a missile, dealing 55 power damage to them if they hit a wall and everyone the target passes through. So this is what this does. When you dash into the enemy, you deal 55 power damage. When you throw them, you deal the same amount of damage to everybody that it passes through, and also when he hits the wall. You do not deal any damage to the person you're punching with the initial punch, unless they collide with the wall. So when you're throwing that person, your mentality should be this: do I want to displace them and hurt enemies, or do I want to displace them and do damage to them? So when you grab the person, you can throw them into a wall, smack the ground, and that'll do a little bit of extra damage. If there's a team nearby, you can literally turn him into a missile and throw him through the team and do all that damage. So if a tank gets really close to your front line, you grab him and you just throw him back, and you can hit the back line. You can hit the ADC and the blaster. Granted, if they're standing in the back line like they should be. Now, when you basic attack and use your W, the crush, Grundy launches his target skyward and then pile drives him into the ground. That's why he has this wrestler outfit here. So pile drives them into the ground, knocking them down for 1 second and dealing 25% additional damage. So this is more of a crowd control in place thing. If you have an enemy, say like Star Sapphire, and you're going into gank for them, and you don't want to just toss them directly out of their ultimate, what you can do is launch them skyward, pile drive them into the ground, deal damage, and that'll hold them in place for 1 second if you use this. So when you run up to them, you could grab them and suppress them for 1 second. You could stand there for 1 second, or you could immediately throw them, or knock them up, whatever you want to do. Stand there for the second. Then once you get that, you can knock them up into the air. Star Sapphire throws her ultimate. You come in with a slow, good night, Susie. Sally, Susie, Sally, whatever the saying is. One of them is going to bed. And it's probably not going to be you. It better not be you. Because Grundy he barely dies. He's... Especially if you build him full tank, you're not dying at all. If you build him more into the enforcer role, you're going to be dying a bit if you don't, crowd control better. So, his last skill, his ultimate here. Oh yeah, also I want to say that the initial grab deals power damage to the person. 30% of your power damage when you actually suppress the enemy and like basic attack them in the march. So that deals damage, saying that like if you don't want to throw them into a wall, but you still want to do damage to them. Obviously, basic attacking them while in the march is still a good alternative. So, his ultimate, buried on a Sunday. Solomon Grundy oozes noxious substances for 7 seconds. Any enemy target that is either hit by a skill of his or comes into contact with him will be infected for 3 seconds. Affected targets take 1% of their max health as power damage per second and infect other targets they come in contact with. Grundy heals for his percentage of health per second for each champion infected. So, you can, if you infect the entire team with this, get a 5% heal bonus in the late game. In the early game, if you hit all 5 people, you're probably going to get about 3% or something like that. Yeah, nah, like 2 something you would get in the early game if you hit everybody. So you get like extra healing, and the damage is also increased while you, the damage percentage of their max health that they take per second is increased when you level into this as well. So, what you want to do with this is basically just get on top of the enemy. Say if it's someone like a gas bat, and you mark them with the ultimate and they swing through their teammates to get to the back line, they will infect everybody that they swing through. Same way that if you infect them and turn them into a missile, it will infect everybody. And then that increases your healing and deals the damage that they take, but it's not like Atrox's ultimate where they deal more damage when they're marked. It's pretty much just all the things that you do give them a little damage boost. So we can talk about super strength here. Gives you extra damage but shorter range. So the range is extremely short, but the damage is a lot more than your standard super strengths, and I believe it's more than Superman's super strength. So from here we could talk builds on him. I got my Big Mama's house. This is if you want to go full tank. You got your extra 75 health on the Ruby, which is a must-have for any tank. If you are going tank, you need this item. You need this item if you are going tank. You need this item if you're going tank. I'm gonna kill this puppy! Hey! Come here! What are you doing? Stop it. Stop it. Alright, sorry for the interruption. So, you need this item if you are going tank. I see a lot of tanks not grab the Ruby. You need to grab the Ruby. Stop it, puppy. Okay. So, with that, you also get your armors. First, you want to get really big with the Ruby, and then you want to put some armors over that. Right now, Prism is pretty much the best power armor that you can get. And also does reflection back to them. So things like you could stand in Joker's ultimate and literally do that damage back to him. Now in terms of attack armor, a lot of people are still using the Suit of Sorrows, and it's not a bad item to get in the late game. It's not your primary source of attack armor at the moment. It's not that good. So with this 15 attack armor mod, at tier 2 for 1500, you get 150 health and 50 attack armor. So that pretty much gives you the stats of the Suit of Sorrows for half the price minus the reflect. Now, on top of that, you got your late game, or you could do early game. I've moved more into the late game because I feel like tanks really shine in the late game. So right here, you see that you get the level scaling, max 7.41 attack armor, max 50 health here pretty much. So you got 47 health, 57 health, 57 health, and 47 health. That's like another 200, whatever, I don't even know math, okay? More health right here. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? On top of that, you got 8, 6, 6, and 8 in terms of power armor. So you got like another 15, like pretty much another one of these mods in terms of power armor right here. Now this makes him super tanky, really not that much damage, but you're gonna be a crowd control and you're gonna be able to get into the fights and do everything you want. Now we got the Grundy Mundy set here. This is an enforcer type set, which also has the late game scaling, but more towards power damage, power penetration, as well as health, armors, and then more power damage and a little bit of lifesteal there, just because it's pretty. I think this is one of the best mods in terms of giving you power damage, because it gives you 10 in the late with the scaling, and most of them don't do that. They give you like 6 or something like that, something a little bit less than that. But power lifesteal, not super crazy viable, but if you are dealing damage and you are using that ultimate, he is really good in terms of that. So where did I go with the mods? I pretty much went power penetration, power damage on the belt with an extra 75 health. You are still gonna pick up the ruby with this build. You need the ruby on your tanks regardless if you're going pure damage or not. You're just gonna get melted if you don't get the ruby. So you're gonna get your ruby first, then you're gonna build this into tier 2, because this is when the mod kicks in. Then I would skip over this for now, but then go into this. Now, at tier 3, this is going to give you an extra 15 attack armor, and that's going to allow you to get up into the fights with, you know, the tankiness that you have going. And you can also pick this up second, or I would honestly grab it third, get it tier 3, and what this does is it allows you to mark them while you ultimate them, take that extra damage. You can literally Neron at that point, and your ultimate will still go off, dealing the ooze all over them. So let's get back into Crime Alley here. And I'm gonna start with
Born on a Monday.
My set here,
in 10 seconds.
specifically for him. And take this, and I'll
Launch
take
in
this to
5
show off the
seconds.
range. Now, I did this before. I got him all the way maxed out. I was like ready to show off the full combo that I normally do with him. And then gas bat one. So, right off the bat, when you head into the lane, you're gonna want to start your cloak. Tier 3 vials is just too good right now. It's getting nerfed because you get the fourth one. Fourth one is being removed. Price is being reduced, I believe.
What's my name? Boom, Solomon Grundy. Born on
The match
Monday.
begins in 30
Christian
seconds.
on Tuesday. Married on Wednesday. Took ill on a Thursday. Reversed on Friday. Died on a Saturday. Buried on a Sunday. That was the end of Solomon Grundy. Boom, boom, boom.
The match begins in 10 seconds. Match initiated. Round in 10 seconds.
Represent.
So anyway, that's literally his full dance there.
Jungle creatures.
Okay, we have the
online
joke.
in 10 seconds.
Little crushy crushy. Oh, did that just spit on me?
Jungle creatures. Phasing complete.
Taunt.
Scared? You should be.
Laugh.
Middle tower under attack.
Rush.
Alright, so
Skulls.
let's show him off right here. Start with this because you're gonna go into your health pretty much first.
Bye-bye.
See, you got the slow on him.
No
I
one
really just like how I
stopped
can't just start
Grundy.
level 19 with my full build and show you guys like clearly what I do. But what I do with this build is mark them with this. If you really need some power armor, you can get this. And what this deals is your power, your bonus power armor as power damage, which you're gonna have a little bit of because you're, you know, you have that on your mods or whatever, and that's gonna give you a little bit of power armor.
Should be.
Now, your first two skills are pretty straightforward without the march. Clobber pushes you forward, does damage through everything that you hit, stops at the first enemy though. Does not go through the first enemy. And you got your slam on the ground that's pretty much similar to Atomic Green Lantern Slam, but it literally is just around. You cannot, you can't move it. Like with Atomic Green Lanterns, when you go to cast it, you can move it in like a direction towards them if you needed to.
I feel stronger.
Now, here's the grab and the toss, and you can use that to make them extend. If I would have thrown him into the actual turret, like he would have collided and taken the damage that I would have dealt if I just dashed directly into him. So
I grow tougher.
and we'll slow that down a little bit here. I'm still gonna max into my Q because I'm building health first. I'm gonna grab this ruby to get the stacking.
Clobber. Risen from swamp.
So he also has this super strength that I think makes him a really good jungler too, especially if you're building tank. This allows you to clear more because it does more damage.
Stomp.
And you can see that I missed those two drones here. The actual hitbox on this isn't gigantic, so you want to be careful with where you're hitting. You won't collide unless you're in the range of that right there.
Grundy, find you! Grundy, go home.
So when you march towards the person and you actually grab them, you're going to
Admire.
see these two change. The actual pictures of them change as well, so to let you know that you're doing completely different things than these two. So when I grab him, you're gonna see this one change to like a throw, and the other one change to like a looks like a little explosion.
New power relay operational in 30 seconds.
So again, just as an example, here's me dashing at him. So I did 99 damage there. Now, when I grab
New
him
power relay
and
operational
throw
in 10
him,
seconds.
I did 99 damage to the drones as well, because he pass through. So here's another example. I guess I can show you passive now.
Grundy remembers Dad!
And this allows you to come back to life.
Get
You
away!
have defeated an enemy.
Beaten to pulp.
You have been defeated.
That is the
So you can use that for dives. If they don't touch you, then it'll be worth it, because they don't get any, if you die to the tower, they don't get any gold for that.
Solomon Grundy
They
is born again.
They need to attack you within a certain amount of time. I'm not sure exactly what it is before you die to actually get the kill or assist for it. So if it's just you that hits them and they die to tower, you will get the kill. So again, you can use this to dash through everything. It's a little bit of a clear.
No one
Now,
stopped
from here, I still get the level 3 of the ruby, because that's when your stats really come in. Up here, you only got 75. Here's when you really get your health, 225. And if you're playing more into like the suicide bomber role or whatever, you just want to dive people. I just gave him that tower coin for free, pretty much. Just dove him right into that. You can level into his passive, but I definitely would not. So here, I'm gonna take the healing, deal a little bit more damage to him, grab him, throw him into the wall, smack him down. Now, if you're doing a single target thing, you don't want to just throw him. With the mentality of the throw, you want to be either thinking, alright, I want to do damage to this guy and displace him, or I want to be doing damage to the enemies when they pass through. If you're single target focusing, your best thing to do is empower the march and then use the W, because that gives you an extra little bit of damage there. Now, I haven't really been doing that because I have only maxed and built into my cube right now. Now I'm going to start building into the W and to more into the power damage roll. So from here, grab him, I can flip him up in the air. That does a little bit extra damage than it normally would. No ultimate, so I can't get the healing.
Grundy, go home. Yes.
Can go here, pick this up. So I don't get this to tier 3. That's when you really want to start going into these items here. Now, with the belts, tier 2 modded, you're looking at an extra 200 health, a little bit of power damage, a little bit of power penetration.
Grundy, go home.
So together with these 3 items, you have 100, 225, so 325, 525 altogether with these 3 items, plus health. Then you have your mods, that's giving you a little bit of health, but they're not at 50 yet, so post them into the wall, smack the ground. Wait for your cooldowns and rinse and repeat.
Our middle turret.
Or you can go all in and die and use your passive.
I feel stronger.
So, in terms of single target annihilation, if I were to come up to this guy, what I can do is I can hit him with the charge without turning it into the throw by not basic attacking him. So, I'm going to pop my ultimate here, then I'm going to use the march, then I'm going to dash into him, do the damage, grab the slow, but from there, I'm going to go for the pummel instead of the regular throw. Here's that. Oh, wait, messed it up. But you can do that to deal a little bit of extra damage in terms of... Oh.
You have defeated an enemy.
Grundy said stop.
Single target, because... Single target...
No one stopped Grundy.
is better if you're like ganking or you get a pick on somebody, or even if you just want to control them in a single, you know, right where they stand. Because if you do come in and you throw them, you're gonna mess your team up if they think that, you know, they're gonna aim exactly where they're standing or where they're heading, and you're gonna toss them in the other direction.
Grundy, go home.
So, again, I wouldn't even cap this. From here, start building into this. Get this tier 3 for the extra attack armor and extra attack damage. You may say, what are you doing? Why are you buying these and not stacking into them? You know, but right now I got the full stacks on the ruby, so you're looking at an extra 200 health right there. So altogether, this ruby is giving me 425 health right now. 500 there, 6, 7, and then you got your armors. So let's try this combo again. I'm even gonna use this healing wave. Pick this up. Could use, and while you're in, the thing with the shorter range is that you can hit your E while it's, you get that move speed. You can do anything that pretty much doesn't blink you or require, like, I can't use my W or my Q right now, but I can, you know, do things that give me buffs, like the move speed you just saw, heal myself, pop off my ultimate, and that'll also increase damage that I do. So do this, toss this, march, dash, and then knock him up. And I'm pretty tanky too, so you're not super good at annihilating individually. So knock this up, bam. Do that if you're still alive. Knock his dead body across the map. The main thing that people don't have an easy time with is the throw. You need to basic attack them and then use your Q once you start moving towards them. So as you see, this gives you a little bit of clear. Allows you to do a little bit of damage. The smash here. Instead of building full tank, most of your damage is going to come for your Q. Charging into them.
Grundy, go home.
So yeah, that's pretty much it. I could draw this out in another 15 minutes and max my level and show you how I normally get him. But pretty much what you want to do is shoot the energy lance at them, pop the ultimate. If you needed power armor, you can get this Helm of Fate, pop this off to deal that extra damage. And
Born in the grave.
If they start targeting you hardcore, you can use the Nerons and you'll still be doing the your ultimate damage to them and healing yourself while in the Neron. Actually, does Neron even allow you to be healed? Alright, so yeah, you can be healed while Neron's up. So again, full combo. You got your environmental objects here. You're gonna wanna pop off your heal, I guess, get that extra 10 damage. Boop. Throw this. Use your ultimate. Use your E. Dash into them. Grab them. Knock them up. Hit him with the energy lance. Pop the Nerons if you take too much damage. And that's it, guys. I mean, or you could just be straight damage and he's gonna melt in fights, but have, you know, that crazy W where you come in, smash them against the wall. You're gonna be doing a lot of damage that way, but you might want to just get a little bit tankier because he needs that tankiness.
Why am I?
Get up into the fight and control them. This is also a pretty good enforcer build for someone like Shazam or Arcane Green Lantern, Atomic Green Lantern, if you're trying to go into the role to get more
Grundy
damage.
broke turret. Grundy, go home.
Yeah, he's a lot of fun. A lot of people either like him, a lot of people either hate him. I think that he's first pick, first ban,
Dominate.
ranked.
Rest in peace.
He's just too good.
Nothing stop
But
me.
yeah, that's the Grundler. Remember to check in Twitch TV /NappleMarks if you wanna come chill, drop by, say hello. I'll do a showcase for you. I do giveaways. I get naked. I mean, I have a puppy. He's cool. You see the puppy in the stream, except when he's not barking, going crazy. Yeah, leave a comment if you have any questions, and I will be sure to get back to you at the sound of the beat.
Christian on Tuesday, married on Wednesday, to kill on a Thursday.